Hey everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net. Thank you so much for joining me for a few minutes here at my media channel for an unboxing. This is kind of an unboxing little examination thing because this isn't like necessarily a special edition disc or anything, and honestly, I don't know how many of you have actually seen this movie, but we're going to take a look at the Blu-ray of The Cure. Now, a fun personal fact for me, The Cure was actually the first PG-13 rated movie I was allowed to rent at Blockbuster. I mean, I remember so many firsts. You never forget your first, right? I remember the first PG-13 movie I saw in theaters was Small Soldiers. I believe the first PG-13 movie I was allowed to watch was Jurassic Park. But after Jurassic Park and then Dances with Wolves, my mom kind of told my dad, stop it. The kids don't need to be watching PG-13 rated movies. And so it took years before I could finally rent one myself. And so when I was finally old enough to rent a PG-13 movie myself, I picked this one. And I picked it because the kid from Jurassic Park and Simon Birch was in this movie. And Star Kid, does anyone remember Star Kid? And it's probably best if you don't. I think it's on Tubi or something, but... So yeah, I wanted to see this because he was in it, but it was rated PG-13. Now, I have not thought about this movie for a long time. I know there was a French about two boys, and he has AIDS, and there's some prejudice against him because, AIDS was still stigmatized at the time. And, yeah, so I haven't thought about it, but one day I kind of was thinking, like, whatever happened to that movie? So I tried to look it up, figured maybe I'd stream it again. And at least as of this recording, I'm not able to find this movie streaming, even though Universal owns it. So you'd think it would be on Peacock, which is their streaming service, but it's not. And I think it might possibly just because a lot of people forgot it existed. This is unfortunately the downside of dramas and things that aren't franchises, that the movies seem to get forgotten over time. This movie is just a little over, it's almost 30 years old at this point because it came out in 1995. But, oh well, not 30, maybe 20. But, so not that old really when you get down to it, but people just don't really remember it. So I did find it on Blu-ray though. They did release a Blu-ray, but you might say, well, this doesn't really look like a Blu-ray. I mean, it has the logo right there, but it kind of looks like a VHS tape. And sure enough, this is a series that Mill Creek Entertainment is doing. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they were doing it, where they were going to take certain movies, they were going to make the VHS collection. They were going to kind of evoke nostalgia for the VHS days. And so they're using the VHS cover. VHS covers for adult films had the credits on the front, although they gave it the updated MPA thing. They had this, if you went to some rental stores, they'd have these like the categories and rating stickers put on it, even though the ratings were on the boxes. And of course, they have like, they make it look like the VHS is on the side. The do not copy stickers would be on many of these rental tapes, which my aunt and uncle never took that seriously. They felt that by paying money to rent it, it gave them the right to copy it. It's not quite how it works. So, and so it's like this, it felt really nostalgic just even looking at this. Now, most of the movies that they've done this for are like horror films or things like that, but it's like, no, I actually remember, so I picked it up. And, as you can see on the side, Mill Creek Entertainment, so it's not completely universal thing. On the back, they have the VHS, and they showed the back of what the VHS case would look like as well. Now, I'm wondering if there's a mistake, though, because there's an R rating here as well as a PG-13. This movie is not rated R, and I even went back to the VHS, and no, the R rating wasn't there. But except for like this and that, it looks very, very close to the original, and the heater just kicked on. I'm sorry. So I think that's a mistake. Now, if you pull this off, you will see that it is a much more standard Blu-ray case. So if they ever decide to, stop making these with this slipcover, then this is going to be a collector's item because this is much more traditional, much more conventional. This one does not have the R rating on the back, so again, I think that is a mistake. Now let's take a look at the disc itself just to see if they do anything interesting with the disc. Because, you know, again, this is kind of being sold as like a VHS collection, like, oh, remember these from Blockbuster? Now you can get them on Blu-ray, and they look like the VHS, but when we take the cover off, looks just like a Blu-ray. So will they do anything special for the disc, or will it just be a blue disc? I'm going to predict it's just going to be a blue disc. Oh, no. It actually is the artwork. That is really, really cool. Now, I think it would have been cool if they made it look like the VHS surface on the disc. I think that would have been really cool. But a picture is also great because, you know, we've done a lot of unboxings and a lot of studios are just putting the blue labels with basic information on it. So this is going a step above and beyond. There's no inserts. There's no alternate cover. The alternate cover might have actually been very nice considering the theme of this. So I don't think there's any special features on this. I think this is just the movie. And this slipcover is a gimmick. Let's be real. It's a gimmick. I expect when I watch this, when I get home, that it probably won't even be like super fancy or super nice looking. They're probably just a basic upscale or something like that. But I do like it when they have fun with the packaging like this, and especially if it's like this is what it takes to get some older movies that really have been forgotten on the VHS days, then I'm all for that. And in a way, it is such a great visual because, again, I have looked. You can't stream this. And somebody's like, oh, why don't you buy it on, you know, Apple Movies or something? No, you can't buy it digitally either. Right now, as far as I'm aware, this and the VHS tape are the only ways you can get this movie. There might be a DVD out there as well, but this movie fell through the cracks. And look, now that Brad Renfro is gone, like this is one of his big well, I don't know if it was his big movie, but he headlined it. So it's interesting. It's like it looks like a relic from another time. It brings back some memories. And like I said, most of these VHS ones are for horror movies, and that makes sense. Horror fans especially really seem to like VHS artwork. They like that old retro feel. But this also feels retro in its own special way, and I definitely dig it, as they say. So I would like to know if any of you have any of these special cases. Have you seen this movie? I'd like to know if anyone's seen this movie and where they were when they saw it. Because, like I said, I think this movie's kind of forgotten now. But I'd love to know, so comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.